Oh, there you go.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, you're doing a good acting job like you were sick or something.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You know, we try to be sick. How are y'all?
Good.
It is not. Okay.
Officially vote on chairman today.
It's going.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
This conference will now be recorded.
Before the meeting starts. Well, I think we already done that.
No, we have to make a motion. Well, I guess you have to do it about it.
Let me officially welcome everybody. Are we rolling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll officially start our meeting today, and the first order of business is to elect a chairman.
I move that Jamie Anderson, today's meeting, be our chairman.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all.
Oh, you're welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Next order of business, we'll need to approve the director's decision, violation resume, warning letters, and inactive status letters.
I make a motion that we approve the director's decisions, violation resume, warning letters, and inactive status letters.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, our director is virtual today. Ms. Chandler, what have you got for us?
I don't think I have anything else to add to the meeting today. Just get the next meeting met for August.
August 17th.
Next meeting will be August 17th. Everybody okay with that?
I will note that I think we're gonna have at least 3 hearings at that meeting, so that y'all can do planning for your schedules that day.
Okay.
We need to bring a lunch for that side, anything?
Okay, any other business, Ms. Judy?
I believe that's it. I believe that's it.
Okay, is everybody here for our first hearing? I think it's Leah's Gourmet Dogs. Everybody present that's going to testify? Okay. Everybody a minute to come to the front, and then who's going to testify?
Yeah, she's going to testify. You come forward. Just have a seat here with me.
Our first hearing will be Cheryl Alexander, Leah's Gourmet Dogs, 215 Center Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, retail beer on premises and on-premise wine. Appeal violation order April 20th, 2022, fined at $11,000 and 1 year probation. Everybody here that's going to testify?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you're going to testify, please raise your right hand. I swear you in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. Chip, are you handling this, or Michael, or who?
I'll be handling this. Michael originally handled it, so he's here in case I mess anything up.
Okay, sounds good. We'll move forward then.
Very good. Members of the board, there was a hearing held on April 7th on this matter. There were 5 charges at the conclusion of the director's hearing. Charge number 4 for possession of controlled alcohol, vodka, and tequila on the premise was dismissed by the director. We have a copy of the exhibit packet in front of you. That includes the sort of procedural, the director's order, as well as a copy of the applicable law for this matter for your convenience, as well as some of the pictures to go with it. I don't believe there's anything else procedural. This matter was timely appealed by licensees, so that's what brings us here today.
Okay. You want to call first witness?
Thanks, sir. Call Suzanne Johnson.
Suzanne Johnston. I've been with ABC for probably about a year and a half now. On Monday, November 29th, I was assigned a complaint that came into ABC about Lily's Gourmet, and the complaint was allowing drinks to go without the purchase of food and allowing alcohol drinks to go over the allowable size. On Friday, December 3rd, Special Agent Danzy and Agent Ellis entered the restaurant to assist me with the violation. At approximately 12:10 hours, Agent Danzy ordered a small gourmet Frito pie and a medium daiquiri to go. And then Agent Ellis ordered a small gourmet fry, half gallon of pineapple and strawberry daiquiri to go. Agent Ellis, while they were still there, she saw like back behind the front counter, they had like a slushy machine and there was a dark liquid in it. So she asked the cashier what was in it. The cashier told her that it was vodka and tequila. Once they were done making those buys, they met back with me at headquarters and turned over the receipts and turned over the alcohol. I ended up disposing of the alcohol because we didn't have the ability to store it, but I took photographs of the alcohol and the receipts and added it to the file. So about 1 o'clock that afternoon.
Sorry,
Am I?
Chairman. I just realized that we have some exhibits that we need to have introduced. So we'll ask for an introduction of that, and they are referenced in Johnson's testimony, as you see in the past.
Okay, we'll allow that.
We continue, okay. So after they went and made the purchase, I went back at about 1 o'clock and did an inspection of the business. When I went back and did the inspection of the business, I ended up finding 33 different containers of alcohol, but the alcohol there was no vodka and there was no tequila. The alcohol that they were using as the base for the mix is all wine based. Some of it's an orange wine that they were using, and then some of it is a wine that is supposed to taste like vodka. And the product comes from a company named Toddy Blends out of Texas. They are not licensed here in the state of Arkansas. I actually spoke to them, and their company, what they do is they sell the wine product to businesses that can't get licenses for spirits. So I asked Ms. Alexander for her invoices to see where all the alcohol that was actually in the business came from. She did not have any of the invoices. She actually had to get a hold of Toddy Blends to have them send her one so I could take a look at it and see what the product was. She told me that she was getting the alcohol that she had in the business from there. And she also had closed the business in Texas. And she brought some of her alcohol from Texas up. She also told me that she had purchased some from Sam's. I also asked her for her server awareness forms, and she didn't have any server awareness forms for any of her employees.
Answer this for me, if you agree about sensibility. How do we differentiate between alcohol made from wine and alcohol made from as a liquor? So you're saying it's a wine base, I guess, flavored to be like tequila.
Yes, correct.
So what's the difference between that product and true tequila?
What?
Alcohol.
Yeah, part of it is the alcohol content. So a spirituous alcohol would have a much higher alcohol content.
Okay.
Wine-based is going to be capped at how much alcohol content it can have. Also, if it's wine-based, it has to come from fruits. And so orange-based wine, that would qualify as Venus or as a wine-based. So we dismiss the tequila and unauthorized spirituous alcohol. These are wine-based mixers. I've seen these products in stores. You may have two wine-based margaritas that don't contain tequila, but they contain wine. So,
I guess I missed that. Okay, learn something. Okay, thank you.
was there anything else from your December investigation. That include your,
Well, on that purchase that Agent Ellis made, that was actually above the legal limit. We only allow for 750 milliliters to go. And when you do half a gallon, it's like 1,892.7 milliliters.
but those are those last pictures. You see the packet.
Right. Yes, that's correct.
And this is a beer on as well.
So it's a beer and wine license that she does have on premise.
Did you see beer on premise?
Yes, she does.
Or did she provide receipts from wholesaler to the beer on premise, or she had no receipts?
She didn't receive it.
So Teddy's,
It's Toddy's.
Toddy's. that is not a Arkansas licensed wholesaler, correct? And that would mean the Arkansas wholesalers are paying an excise tax in our three-tier system, and that's one of the 3 tiers. So there's the excise tax, and then there's sales tax for the customer buys. So sales tax, if you're going through a wholesaler, you're missing that excise tax portion of the Arkansas tax.
Correct, she would have gone through the Texas Comptroller Public Accounts. Not Arkansas.
Was there anything else from your investigation on that day?
I believe I've covered everything.
Pass the witness.
No questions.
Call, Mrs. Nancy. Morning.
Please state your name before.
Francis Dancy. Supervisor for ABC.
And Agent Dancy, you were so employed back December 3rd of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, and you went to the Lily's Hot Dog establishment with Agent Johnson, is that correct?
No, I went with Agent.
Excuse me, Agent Johnson. Can you tell the board what you discovered when you went there?
Basically, we went in, made a purchase for a food item and requested a pina colada, strawberry daiquiri. It was provided to me, my food purchase, and that basically was it. I asked her what was in it. She said a little something and something, and that was basically all she told me. She did have a separate conversation with Agent Ellis, which I did not hear.
Okay. And those receipts for your purchases, have these on page 9, page 14 of this exhibit packet. I just want to show you. You ordered the medium daiquiri to go,
I did.
and 305 Agent Ellis, and orders a half gallon pina colada and the small fries. Is that right?
Correct.
And that was provided to you to go, and you were able to take that back and dispose of the alcohol.
Yes. We turned it over to Agent Johnston.
Anything further from ask the witness?
No questions.
Thank you. And that concludes the presentation of ABC enforcement.
Will please state y'all's name for the record and
I'm Lucian Gillum and this is Cheryl Alexander. And I'll go ahead and call Miss Alexander. Miss Alexander, state your name, please.
Sherelle Alexander.
And you own Wheelies?
Yes.
And did you run a business down in Texas? And how wide did you start that? How and why did you start that?
So I started Lele's here in Little Rock. It was a food truck. And I moved it to Texas. I moved to Texas because my daughter had passed. And it was just too much for me. So that's why it's named Lele's. So I moved to Texas to get away
I came back to Little Rock because my mom got sick with cancer. So I just wanted to close that business. It was also, doing bad because of COVID. So I came back to Little Rock, opened the business here so I can take care of my mom and work. That's it.
And, what members of your family work at this business?
My mom, my stepfather, and my cousin.
And how are you doing in terms of making a profit or a loss?
Right now, I'm just breaking even.
All right. And, at the time that you, had these violations, that they, charged you with, had you been to the ABC class yet?
No,
And, mistakes that you've made, are you gonna repeat them or are you gonna not do that anymore?
no, I will not repeat it.
Okay. And, are you just asking this board to either reduce the fine so that you keep staying in business or at least give you time to pay it out? All right. No other questions for Ms. Alexander?
Ms. Alexander, may I ask you, you have since this incident attended the ABC seminar,
I have,
and that was in June, I think?
I think so.
Okay. Do you recall that seminar? Do you recall who instructed that seminar?
I think it was Mike.
The gentleman who's soon again with us?
I think so.
Okay. Did he go over the Arkansas three-tier system and the need to buy from wholesalers if you're a retail outlet? Talk about to-go beverages and what is allowed and what isn't allowed. So as I understand your testimony, you would agree that you had the 33 gallons or half gallons of wine-based daiquiris and mixers, that these things were done, but it was sort of an ignorance of law. It was a mistake, not an intentional violation. Is that-
Yes.
Do you keep the receipts for your alcohol now?
I do,
And you're buying from a wholesaler at this point?
yes,
Got that set up and you have your distribution?
I do,
Are you still doing to-go drinks?
yes, sir.
Okay. And after that seminar, you understand limitations on how much you can send out and what restrictions has to go out with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ms. Alexander calls her mother to the stand. If you can do it, why don't you let your mother sit here? Can you state your name, please?
Bobby Stokes.
And how do you know Ms. Alexander?
Sherelle Alexander is my oldest daughter, whom I love very much, and she's a very sweet girl. I'm very proud of her.
Did she come back to help you?
She did. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2019. And then I was diagnosed again with stage 4 last year in August. So it was just too much for her to travel back and forth and help me. So she decided to move here and help take care of me.
Okay. And do you sometimes work at the store?
I do.
And how about your stepson and your husband?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No other questions. No other questions for you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
He may.
I don't have any questions. Thank
All right. Thanks. Go ahead. Come on. We have no further witnesses. We just wanted to ask, the fine initially was $11,000 and we wanted to see if we could get that reduced, maybe by half to $5,500, or, she was given 30 days to pay. Breaking even, that would be pretty hard for her to come up with $11,000 in 30 days and get it spaced out to where she can make payments over 6 months or a year or something like that. Just something to ease the financial burden on a business that's kind of on the edge.
I got a question. Mr. Alexander, when you were in Arkansas the first time, were you operating this business, and did you have a liquor license at that time?
No, I just had a food truck.
Just a food truck with that? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question on this invoice. Do you have the original to see, like, I can't tell how much per jug of the concentrate with that, you know, how much it costs? Or do you know off the top of your head about how much, like, one of these jugs would run?
$19.
$19. And so there's 33 of those jugs at various capacities is what it comes down to.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
We also sell Kool-Aid. We don't just sell the daiquiris, we sell our famous Kool-Aid.
Right, but as far as like, there's 33 items that were bought out of state is what, like,
He's not talking
Oh,
about.
okay. 33 total items.
yes.
She was referring to, she has empty half-gallon jugs.
Okay.
Oh,
He's talking about the ones.
So if these were, outside of curiosity, the 19 jug, or the 33 jugs is $19. What's our tax that, that she basically failed to pay in the state?
I'm gonna have to defer to Mr. Lewis, if he knows that information, because I don't know what the excise tax on something like that would be.
I don't have that information off the top of my head, but I can get it to you.
I mean, I would assume it's 10 to 15% at most.
You have a rough idea?
He's reading.
I'm gonna have to read through the tax handbook to find the number. I don't think it's a huge amount. I believe it's under $1 per gallon, but I would have to double check that.
So, I'm just hypothetically throwing out numbers, I don't expect you to read the whole tax manual and probably even stay awake long enough to do that. But $19 a jug, and there's 33, that's $627. Even if we called it a 15% excise tax, it's $100. Basically failed. Now, I know that there's more than that it needs to be. In my opinion, as far as like a penalty or recommendation, I would say maybe it's like, if you did a penalty of 10 times what the excise tax, does that be $1,000 fine?
Can you remind us approximately what the breakdown was on these fines and how they were levied?
Sure. Each of the C violations are 100 to 200. The B violation is 200 to 500. I don't think we have one, the Class A, that is 500 to 1,000. My understanding of the breakdown, Mr. Lewis obviously handled the director's level, so he may have to correct me, but I believe my understanding was every count was done at the minimum, 100 for all the Cs, 200 for the B, and 500 for the A. Is that correct, Michael?
That's correct. Every fine was at the lowest amount we could offer.
So I'm going to do some quick math here. So there's one violation on item 1.
It comes down to 100 in item 1, 3,302, 1,003, 4, we didn't find anything, and then 5, 6,600, equaling a total of 11,000.
So 1,000 in the first one, 3,000 in the second.
100, excuse, I might have misspoke. It's 100 in the first.
Okay, 100 in the first. The second one was 3,000.
3,300.
3,300. Third one was 1,000.
Yes.
Fourth one, there was not anything. And then the fifth one was the big one.
6,600.
Yeah, I'm trying to make that. So, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we would uphold the fines and items 1, 2, 3, and then reduce the fine on number 5. That as far as the violation, selling a controlled beverage of any kind which that tax is required by the ABC rules or by alcoholic beverage control law of the state of Arkansas that is not paid in violation of these 33 counts. Reduce that down to $1,000, which would give us a total fine of $5,400.
If I can make a suggestion.
Yeah.
If you want to, we are doing the minimum fine, on count 5 would be 500. You would not be able to go under that. If you want to give a dollar reduction, my recommendation would be, if you would entertain this, would be to amend the motion to where the fine would be 1,000 with 5,600 suspended. That way, we are not going below the minimum fine, but the fine to be paid is less than the original director decision, if that's the board's plan.
Yeah, and actually I would even, let's further that to say that let's reduce it. So I'll amend the motion to basically uphold the director's decision, but hold $5,600 in abeyance for item 5, pending a 1-year probationary period that we don't have any additional sales of alcohol, that are outside of being bought through wholesalers, and that there's not any other issues that come up with the business.
And somehow, how much is that total?
That would be, it'd be basically reducing to a total fine of $5,400. Because we're reducing 5,600 off of it.
Okay.
If my math works out.
Suspending all the 1,000.
Ms. Alexander, if we were to do this, how long do you think it'd take to make that payment?
Total is 5,400 that you would have to pay. How long do you think you could do that in?
If we gave you 90 days, could you get that paid?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to put you in a position where it creates a hardship.
Do you need 6 months or 6 months? Would that be all right? We really appreciate your.
Well, I was thinking 90 days.
What would be in the middle of 120?
120.
That'd be 4 months.
Can you do 4 months?
That'd be about 12 months.
Yes.
Can you stay in business if we do that?
Yes, sir.
Don't tell me yes, sir, if you can't.
I'm gonna make it.
Okay. I would like to amend that to your
Yeah.
motion.
Procedurally, what I'd like to amend my amendment to add in, that we added a payment period of 120 days from this hearing. Do you want me to start over on it?
Yeah, please start over.
Yeah. So,
What, stop before we start that, what requirement that she pays so much per month?
We can't accept.
You just have to have full pay. It's got to be full pay. Okay. All right. That'll be that question.
okay,
Can we not get more sick?
okay. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that on behalf of the director's decision, matter, Lily's Gourmet Hot Dogs, that we uphold the director's decision as far as the items 1, 2, 3, and 5, but we hold $5,600 of the fine in abeyance for 1 year, subject to there being no additional issues with the permittee or the premise. And then we give the permittee 6 months from this hearing to pay the outstanding fine that's due now of $5,400.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All opposed? All right. Continue to do business, save up your money. Don't be doing one lump sum. I promise you, we are pro business, so we want you to make it, but pay your taxes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. You are adjourned.
Yeah, I think it will cover.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
You drove down the phone
Early drive.
4:30.
Better start farming fish.